Hi, I would like to tell you something about my problem with my Ford Ranger T6 2009-2010. Around 2 months ago I have changed the fuel filter here from this car. It's a diesel one. I changed the fuel filter. I'm here in the Philippines and maintenance is an unknown word. So I put it out and it was really dirty. So I make a new one inside and put everything back, and after a few days the car is start to crank in the morning, but it don't run. So I must make a few tries before the car is starting, and the car was running. When the car is running, so after the start, it don't have any problems. It runs, it has power, no problem. So what I have made after this, there was some repairs at the car about here. One of these two of these suctions here from the injector was leaking, so I bring it to a car repair center. They changed the suctions here inside, and on the same way they destroy here some suction here inside the connector. So what I thought about it when I get the car back, that possible this suction or the water was inside, or at all suctions, maybe the contact was not very good. So I use a contact cleaner to clean all the contacts, but there's nothing changed. So about this one, I think about, okay, maybe there is about, it was really dirty before. So I bought 2 bottles of injector and fuel line cleaner, and I put it in a time difference from around 3-4 weeks, but I have no change. It stays, it cranks, but it don't start. Sometimes it was so terrible that I was inside the car and the complete car was shaking, and then then the car it starts, but it takes a long time, or the car is starting but it goes off by themselves after maybe 10-15 seconds. So I was a little bit helpless about it, and so I thought, okay, what kind of possibilities I have by myself to check out what is the reason for it. What I make next is I check the glow plugs here. Here inside I check the glow plugs, and all the glow plugs here inside have between 2 and 3 ohms. What I have found out is that glow plugs between 0.5 and 6 ohms are definitely okay. Everything over it, better to change as to wait for a defect or that the engine is not running. But everything looks fine here for me in this moment. And so I go into the internet, I search about it, but it was not very helpful. But what I have made in the next is I checked the air filter, and the air filter was also really dirty. And so I changed the air filter, but there is no change. And I thought by myself, okay, when this one here is so dirty, possible the mass airflow sensor was maybe full of dirt and I can't get it out. Repair is not possible. You can only clean it, and only with the right tools, and not everything is to get here in the Philippines. So in this case I thought by myself, okay, buy a new one. It was not so expensive here, and I make it in, but nothing changed. It stays like before. So the next what I have made is I check here the reflow line. This is the reflow line here from the injector, and I see that here at the first one it was completely dry. There was no diesel inside, but at the other it was always wet. So I thought possible one of the sections here, when I check it, it was really flat. So in this case I thought maybe he sucked air here at this point, is running back and going back in the fuel line, and that was the reason that possible air was inside. But about the air, so now I'm coming back here to the fuel filter. One day I open this one here and I press the button here for a few times, and there was, before it comes here fuel out, I must pump, I think maybe 10-15 times, so it was quite empty. So it must be run air here inside, it must be run back or whatever. I found in the internet that a lot of people say maybe the pump here in the back was defect, and there was a big hassle to change it. So I thought by myself, before I change it, try some other places, some other things. What I have made new about, I have a huge difference between the chassis and the engine. It was more than 1 ohms difference, so I make a new ground cable. And so I have now the same potential on the engine as here on the chassis. And inside of the car I have right now the around 14 volt when the car was not started or when the car was loading, so it was really good. But the problem was not solved about the cranks and don't start. So what was my next step? The next step was that I, after I changed this cable, I make it new. I thought, okay, when here was possible air inside my system and the fuel is running back or out, then I would like to put in some check valves. So I bought 2 check valves and I put these check valves, you can see it here. One is here in the lower side, this is the input, and here was the output. And when I cut these tubes, they was dry. There was no fuel inside. So it must be something to do with a leak, what I have. And here, possible the tubes, I mean the tubes are really old. The car has right now 135,000 kilometers, nearly without a maintenance. And so, sure, can be. And you see here as the injector, when I see it here, this one, when I bring it to repair and they don't take care about the suctions, what they make here. So I thought by myself, when there was some changes, repairs or something like this in the past, it can be maybe a little bit more trouble about this one. So after I have checked the glow plugs and after I put in here these check valves, and I know that I have a leak, possible a vacuum leak or a fuel leak. Then I decide to go back to the beginning. And at the beginning was the fuel filter. So this is a new assembly, a complete new assembly from the fuel filter what I have bought. Included the filter with everything. And when I get this fuel filter, I see on the lower side of the fuel filter, now we go to the, this one here is only 2 months old, but here on the bottom, here is a hole. And when I put it out, then everything on the lower side was really dirty and wet. And this here is the drainage pin, which was here inside, in this hole, here in this one. And I see about everything was around wet. And so here, this is my own opinion, what I have about these things. As long the old fuel filter was inside, it was a kind of clogging that no fuel can be run out. About it was really dirty. When I say really dirty, then I mean really dirty. And so I see that this suction here was really flat. Not this one, this is a new one here right now. This here is the original old one. And I see it was really flat, possibly it was, yeah, I think you can see it here right now. It was really flat. And and after I change it, this one here, I think it will be running right now. I have inside right now a new assembly, but I'm totally sure, when I put this one here in this lower connector, or this is a switch, and this is the drainage. And when I put this here inside, I'm 100% sure it will be running fine. So, but at the end, after I changed this complete assembly, what you see here right now, this is a new one. And after I change this complete assembly, the car starts perfectly. Like before, it sees the key, it cranks and it goes on. There was no issues right now. I have good power. In my own opinion is that the car is right now running much better as before. And I'm not a native English speaker, but I hope that everything what I have say here or give my opinions or something like this, I hope everything is good to understand, and possibly it will be help some people when they have a problem about that the car is not running very good. In my opinion, when you change the fuel filter, change this O-ring on the bottom side, change it. I think it's necessary. You see it on the video, you see it on my one, it's flat. And when you have a leak on this side, the point is, you don't see it. When it's running out on the lower side, you don't see it. I think I have lost over the last 2 months around 100 to 200 milliliter, maybe more, fuel every day. This is a lot. And yeah, sure, that the car is not running. This is on the other side a really bad thing. When you bring a car with this kind of defect here to a company and they try to find the defect and check all the complete fuel system, I don't think that this one is the first one what they are checking for. And I think you will pay a lot of money before you before possible they found the fail. I was here at the company here, and I'm asking them what is the possibility, and they say possible the injectors must be calibrated, and for this I have to pay here 35,000 pesos. And this calibration of this injector, it was really expensive. And you know, 35,000 pesos is around $700, and you can get this 4 injectors much cheaper when you buy it new as when you buy it or you make a calibration of this one. What I forget is I have changed this one here too. About the first O-ring here on the side, here on this one, was really flat too. So only as a suggestion is, don't forget this cable here. This is one of the highest point. It depends on how you park your car too. There is possible running air back or come bare air inside your fuel system. So you can find this kind of cables here quite cheap on Lazada or in Shopee or in Alibaba. It was not very expensive. About the O-ring, is not a 4 millimeter and it's not a 3 millimeter. It was a little bit a different size, a little bit a special size. So it was not easy to get and not easy to find. Yeah, what can I say? But at the end, I'm really happy right now. My car is running like before. I don't have any issues. But what I would like to do in the next time is I would like to check the vacuum cables here on the side. What I have 2 vacuum vans and a vacuum chamber on the right side. Possible I change this all these vacuum tubes what I see here after 125,000 kilometers in a country where it's very hot. I think it's necessary to give a little bit maintenance about it. The air mass filter I will change back to the original one next time and put this one here by side. Maybe I can use it in the future for a check when something happen or something like this. So yeah, this was my experience here with cranking and don't starting. So what I say, take always care about this small O-ring, what you see here on the bottom. Take care about it, change it. When you change the filter, change this O-ring always with the filter. Okay, that's it. Have fun. Thank you.